Josh, I'm sure you saw Tennessee baseball being left out of the super regionals. I'm sorry, not left out, excuse me, not hosting a super regional. My hot take question is, I've asked John Wilkerson about this. Dave and I spoke about it. It's politicking, right? It's that Southern Miss has a better stadium. Is that it?
I mean, maybe. That's the beauty and the absurdity of this is that they don't tell us, and they don't have to, and that is stupid. This is not a complicated process if they don't want it to be. The NCAA basketball tournament is ranked 1 through 68. They tell us ahead of time, this is where the teams are ranked. If they did this with baseball and they told us, here's 1 through 64, here's how they rank, then if they ran into this situation, they could simply say, as long as the two sites can accommodate, well, the one that's ranked higher gets to host. And then we don't have to go through this charade of behind the scenes conversations and trying to figure out, okay, well, this AD's son plays on the team, so how did that factor in? Then I'm wondering, what did the other AD or the other committee members just bow down and say, well, your son sits the bench for that team, so I guess you get to travel to go see him there. Like, what are we doing here? Or you could just say, well, here's the criteria, here's how it works, here's who gets to host, instead of having some secret 10 a.m. announcement the next day. But it created interest. It created outrage, which creates more conversation, which I guess is good for college baseball. But I would say this would be good. Let everybody know how you do things so they don't think you're cheating one team versus the other. That would be my suggestion.
Josh, I know where Caleb's going with this because I think Tennessee has some strong politicking power. But isn't this just the way that the NCAA has done things for years? I mean, my fear is that this happens with the college football playoff. It's happened with the NCAA basketball tournament. We've been like, why is that team left out and this team's in? They don't come out and answer any questions.
Right. I want it to be true that the committee members, we're told they're getting together and they're going through the process and they're figuring out, okay, here's the bid, here's that bid. What are all the factors that we'll consider? I prefer to believe that they just sit around and play video games, and they set their iPhone to go off at 9:55. It's like, oh yeah, 5 minutes. We have to tell everybody where they're going. What do you guys think? And then they just say, Southern Miss. Okay. And they get back to their games and then they play because nothing else makes sense with this organization at this point. They make it complicated for a reason. They keep it secretive for a reason. I don't follow college baseball around the country in great detail. Many who do say it's a toss-up in terms of the resumes for who gets to host, who shouldn't. I feel bad for John Wilkerson and Tennessee media who are not looking forward to traveling to Hattiesburg. I feel bad for Tennessee fans who were looking forward to getting to go to Lindsey Nelson Stadium because that was going to be quite the atmosphere this weekend if Tennessee had hosted. But Tennessee baseball should take the mindset of, they said we couldn't win on the road, and we went 3-0 at Clemson. They said that we were done 6 weeks ago, and now we're 2 wins away from going back to Omaha and do better than last year's team did in the postseason. So if Tennessee's team goes with the right mindset to Southern Miss, then they can do what Ole Miss did last year, go from a team that everybody counted out to having a chance to win the title, and Ole Miss did it last year. So this can be a positive for Tennessee. The old chip on the shoulder. Tennessee gets to take it to beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Boy, one of the places in the South I have not been, and I'm not missing it.
The Hilton Head of
Has
Mississippi.
anybody here been to Hattiesburg, Mississippi?
I've been to Biloxi, not Hattiesburg.
Yeah, I've lost money in Biloxi before at the casino. Josh, you?
I've been in the state of Mississippi a handful of times, just outside the border there of Tennessee, but Hattiesburg I have not been.
Well, you've never spent a fulfilled week until you've covered junior college recruiting in the northern Mississippi area. That's something.
For Tennessee fans who are going there, just make sure to hold on to your wallet real tight, allegedly, if you run into Brett Favre trying to take in the
Ouch. Brett Favre gets shots all the time. All right, Caleb, so how can politicking help Tennessee? We discussed this in our 3:30 a.m. production meeting, and I don't really remember exactly what you said because it was so early.
Okay, so Josh, where I was going with this, and I think this is bad for the college football playoff, but good for Tennessee, because I think if they can politic over who plays at home in baseball, they could obviously do that in football during the first round. So don't you think there might be a year where like Tennessee is between the 8 and the 9 seed, and they're playing Wake Forest, who's between the 8 and the 9 seed. And if Wake Forest has a home stadium of 31,000, Tennessee's got a home stadium of 100,000. Obviously, Tennessee is going to bring more money in, and they're going to make that decision then.
Yeah, they should want college football playoff games at Neyland. The Dumbos, though, running the sport for so long have just thought, well, let's go to all these neutral sites and let's avoid the beauty of the college football campuses. So trusting them to make good decisions is still a risk. But it should just, I mean, hopefully with the football side, it will come down to who's ranked higher. I guess if you want to talk about the politicking of who gets which seed to then host, because there is that problem as well. But yes, college football should want Tennessee, Knoxville, Neyland Stadium to be a home site anytime possible in college football. College Game Day decided Knoxville was a great place to go twice last fall. So Knoxville should be very attractive in the college football world, assuming Tennessee football can stay where it is or go a little bit higher to be one of those playoff teams. Because in the 12-team format, of course, last year, Tennessee would have been one of those teams in.
It's an interesting point that I'd never really thought about. Just blow up bowls and playoff destinations altogether and have them all on campus except for one mega bowl.
Well, you know, why would you want to go to Knoxville and Gainesville and Tuscaloosa and Madison and Columbus when you can go to stale bowl sites that fans aren't particularly excited about and the executives can rake in extra cash to bring them there thanks to the sponsors? Why would you choose the exciting atmosphere of college sites, the college sites that have made the sport what it is over more than 100 years?
You're telling me Shreveport's not more prestigious than Knoxville? Sorry.
Josh, literally every bowl game that I have covered, this discussion has happened. So what brings you to town? Oh, well, I'm covering the bowl game. Oh, really? Who's playing? That happens every single. Would that ever happen in Knoxville, Tuscaloosa, Athens, or anywhere else?
You know, when you go to Baton Rouge and you say, looking forward to the football game this weekend, typically they say, what football game? Who's playing? Yeah, in Baton Rouge. Yeah, so Shreveport or Baton Rouge, which is the more exciting atmospheric location for college football? It's tough to say.
All right, Josh, I'll let you go with this. I posted this on Twitter, and it caused quite the hullabaloo. Most underrated fruit is, I go pear.
Pear is the answer.
Yes. Pear's very good.
Mango for sure, too, though, belongs in this conversation. It's like a B12 shot.
Yeah, that's pretty high rated, though, for me. I'm a big mango guy. Bad for your blood sugar, though, I found.
Is that right? Pears are terrific. Never brought up in the conversation. Funny shape. Yeah, there's so many things to brag about with the pear.
Yeah. Now, I don't like my women like a pear, but I like my fruit like a pear.
You can pair it with a number of different foods, too, to make a high-quality snack.
You can pair it with a number of different foods.
Yeah, you both. Yeah. So use those jokes. You both really have a pair. All right.
So the raspberry. Raspberry is pretty underrated. Both the raspberry and the blackberry.
Raspberry is underrated. I'll give Travis that. He mentioned that on the Twitter last night. So fill us in with.
Let me go after this. Favorite berry?
Eric.
Ah, you beat me to it. Okay.
I'm still Halle, but you know.
Okay.
Halle Berry's pretty good. What was that movie? Swordfish? Whatever it was. That's pretty strong.
Yes.
All right, Josh. People can follow your work, your writing, which is fantastic, on the website called offthugsports.com, which we celebrated our 1-year anniversary. I didn't even realize it 2 days ago. And you can check out Josh on the Sports Animal from noon to 3. He is fantastic. Throws high, hot heat daily from noon to 3. Thank you, Josh.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Josh Ward, the Sports Animal. He is fantastic. So check him out.